So, I was scrolling through YouTube earlier today when I got recommended a really strange video from a channel named ToasterNinja51. The video was called Roblox Explorers, and something about it immediately fell off. After looking into it a bit more, I realized I'd finally found what I've been looking for. A small Roblox ARG that hasn't really been documented yet. In this video, I'm going to break down everything I've found so far, starting with the beginning. In this first video, we meet two people, ToasterNinja51 and Ningrao. These two are the primary characters of this story and likely close friends, judging by the way they act with each other. The video mostly consists of ToasterNinja and Ningrao just playing a cart ride game with the intention of exploring dead games found on Roblox. Also, ToasterNinja calls Ningrao fat at one point because their cart won't move up the rails, making them have to walk the rest of the way there. Oh, and also they die. There is one notable part, however. At the timestamp 3 minutes and 12 seconds, Ningrao says that he's feeling kind of scared in his own words. He says it may be due to his own paranoia, and that he is easily scared. Then, he is rudely interrupted by ToasterNinja calling him a coward. Other than that, the video ends with no other visual issues, but we don't even complete the car ride, only being 25% from it. It seems like the video just got cut off abruptly, like a corruption or a glitch caused the recording to stop abruptly. It was specifically when Ningrao was left behind while ToasterNinja went away with a car. And that concludes the first video in the series. The second video of the series is a drastic change in tone from the previous video. Due to the fact that they both act a lot more serious and different from how they acted originally in the first video, in this video, Ningrao acts a lot more rushed, almost worried. He seems a little drier when it comes to messages and doesn't even let ToasterNinja finish his introduction without running into the temple. Inside of the temple lies a Roblox character rig without the head mesh making the head rectangular, with wings almost as if representing an angel or an otherworldly being. Alongside it, there are lines of obelisks going from the top to the bottom of walls, making it seem a lot more surreal. Even though nothing happens, ToasterNinja feels like he has the creeps from just looking around. Long enough of looking around, they check the back of the temple to find that there is nothing to be seen, and Ningrao leaves after agreeing to investigate more off-camera with ToasterNinja. But despite this seeming like we're done with this video, I finished watching it and looked down to see the description of the comments to find the more option of the description, which only appears when there are too many lines to fit normally the description for the video. I look inside and a YouTube URL part. So I put this into the YouTube watch link as a code, and it works, leading us to the next major video. This next important video is a short one. Its name untitled, and is unlisted. Immediately off the bat, the recording starts back where the previous videos ended originally, and if you look in the chat, a conversation happened between Ningrao and ToasterNinja post-recording of a previous video, of Ningrao talking about that he's scared of something bad actually happening, and he leaves ToasterNinja to investigate on his own. So, ToasterNinja enters the temple again. Everything seems normal until he heads up to the angel statue and says to it that it looks stupid. For some odd reason, this causes the game to turn red and begin to violently glitch out as ToasterNinja backs away from the statue until his computer crashes with a blue screen of death. That is basically the summary of what happens in this first important video. This next video, named Monolith, ToasterNinja plays alone in this strange game. ToasterNinja says that Ningrao had to go to sleep, so he couldn't join the server. The game looks like a bunch of colourful moving platforms and spheres with a grey platform underneath with another one of those strange obelisks from the temple. ToasterNinja's lag is very intense in this game to the point that it doesn't even load his character properly and leaves him as a Roblox noob. After enough of waiting around, he decides to jump down. For some reason, once he does this, the recording quality enhances. While he's falling nearby the obelisks, he passes it and the game colors turn red as it says 5 times, "No going back now," in white text, and then it turns back to normal and the obelisk gets blown up by a few of ToasterNinja's rockets. Once the obelisk is destroyed, his lag is completely gone, making the game run in much better frames per second. In the description of the video, there's an encrypted message which was put into a Caesar cipher and shifted 23 layers. When decoded, this message says, "Feel like I made a mistake," suggesting that even ToasterNinja knew that he did something bad by destroying the obelisk and will most likely get repercussions for it. The next important video is a long one, so be ready for this. This one is named Episode 2, Weird Home. This shows us more of the surreal effects of the obelisk being broken from the last video. After ToasterNinja destroys the obelisk, him and Ningrao join this game in the current video to find it looks like the regular Roblox happy home, but strangely, almost as if whatever that statue is punishing him for destroying the obelisk. The place has billboards all around in random places with nothing on them. If you haven't noticed, there's someone else other than them in the leaderboard, named Grazing Eyes. This detail does not go unnoticed to ToasterNinja and Ningrao, as if you look at the start of the video in the chat, you can see Ningrao asking if ToasterNinja knows who Grazing Eyes is, with ToasterNinja stating that it's likely just a random player. Ningrao mentions that he thinks this game is creepy too, and ToasterNinja tells him not to worry about who Grazing Eyes is. In the middle of the introduction to the video, however, just after ToasterNinja asked Ningrao what the game name is, Ningrao's computer randomly shut down on him, almost as if something was stopping him from telling ToasterNinja the name of the game. Once Ningrao randomly leaves, ToasterNinja looks around in confusion. If you didn't notice during this scene, you can actually see one of the obelisks standing behind ToasterNinja once he turns around, confirming there is something definitely wrong with this game. Once Ningrao joins back, you can see in the chat that Ningrao was talking about what happened with ToasterNinja, and they both assume that it's just Ningrao's computer is bad. After Ningrao says for them to continue, they turn around to continue the introduction, and they both really know the obelisk. Side note here, this is where we find out the obelisks are actually called monoliths. So from now on, I will begin to name them monoliths. On another note, once ToasterNinja turns to face Ningrao, you can actually see the stone path which curves right, zoom off the ground and far into the distance. We'll bring that up a bit later on in the series. After we finish talking about how is the monolith again, they walk towards it and consider approaching it. They actually do approach it, and ToasterNinja thinks it's a smart idea to walk directly into the monolith, and that flings him all the way to the house. I don't think that was actually meant to happen in the series, but that may have been a blooper that got kept in. Ningrao says that he thinks it hates ToasterNinja, and ToasterNinja replies by saying that's ironic. After enough talking, we decide to just leave the monolith alone for now. Congratulations guys, you actually did a smart choice. Once they turn and begin to walk away from the monolith, they notice something that to the left of the house, there are actually more of those statue-like beings. 5 to be exact. Once they begin to walk over, ToasterNinja says, isn't this meant to be the normal happy home or something? Which the question is ignored, most likely because they're both trying to process what just happened. Justifiably, Ningrao begins to feel scared the closer he gets. If you haven't noticed, this has been a recurring theme throughout these episodes. Whenever Ningrao is near these statues, he can't help but feel fear. Upon further analysis, we notice that it looks like they have halos on. After enough examining the statues outside, we enter the house again for the window to find that statue from the second video. They are both understandably scared, yet despite what happened last time, ToasterNinja decided to call the statue stupid again. This time, however, nothing happens. It makes him look like an insane paranoid guy. After long enough of ToasterNinja trying to prove himself, he just decides to try and destroy the statue using the delete tool, only to realize it cannot be destroyed for some reason. After this realization, Ningrao makes the suggestion that we should get out of there, which we do. After leaving the house, they walk back up to the monolith from earlier, and decide to destroy it because it also looks stupid. When the process of destroying Monolith is nearing the end, the video abruptly cuts off like it did in the first video, and it takes us back to the cart ride game again. Yet this time, something feels off. It feels like something isn't meant to be there. ToasterNinja and Ningrao try to think about why they could keep getting encounters with Monolith, yet come up with no straightforward answer. They think that the shrine game could possibly be cursed or something, which leads them to sound crazy. They agree with each other when saying they can't just appear out of nowhere. Ningrao says that all he wanted was for her channel to be a normal exploring channel, just exploring dead games and none of this Monolith angel statue stuff. He asks why all of this is happening to them. ToasterNinja considers replying in chat by saying it's because he literally destroyed one of his monoliths, but it decides not to send a removed message, meaning that he could be hiding things from Ningrao. Instead, he says to him that even he doesn't know why it's targeting him, even though he knows full well why. Ningrao asks what they even did, and once again, ToasterNinja considers saying something but decides not to, and instead just agrees. After this, Ningrao asks ToasterNinja what he did after he left in the shrine game. ToasterNinja lies and says that he just left after him because there was no reason to stay there. ToasterNinja asks Ningrao what they should do about all this. Then even Ningrao doesn't know anymore. Then they both agree on leaving the game. Ningrao leaves first, but before leaving, he notices something in the distance and looks towards it. Is that an angel statue? ToasterNinja doesn't waste any more time and leaves immediately after processing everything. this next important video, named The Garden That Shouldn't Grow, ToasterNinja joins in the previous video's game to find it destroyed. Parts are missing of the structure, and some chunks on the ground. Trees which were not part of the original game are present, and most notably, the statues are gone. Immediately, out of pure bewilderment, he says in the chat, "What the hell happened here?" I would too, ToasterNinja. I would too. After long enough of him standing there and letting everything be processed in his brain, he decides to begin moving. Do you remember that one long path I mentioned earlier in the last video, the one that went all the way into the distance? He decided to go down that path. This time, however, there seems to be some kind of doorway which is at the end of the path, which is very likely what he is intending to move to. After his long walk, he almost makes it to the object of the end of the path. However, the ground loses collision and he falls through. And abruptly, he is sent to another game, as shown by the loading display showing the bricks and connectors loaded. Once he loads in and appears at the spawn location, he looks around him to see a gigantic forest of some sort, with the classic Roblox trees repeated everywhere. He also notices that he can't zoom out, which he is confused about. He also questions about why there are so many trees, which is a good question. Then, after enough of mindlessly walking through the large forest, he sees something. After enough of walking to what he saw, he sees that it was a fountain with a slight cross shape, and another one of the monoliths. He stares at the monolith for a good minute before he begins to type in chat, asking how he can break it. But before he can finish the message, he hears the familiar footstep sounds, which aren't his because he's typing in chat. He looks behind him to see what it was, and the recording freaks out and crashes. From what I can see from the image here, it looks to be the angel statue, judging by the lone brick looking like the wing. If you look closer into the image, you may see what looks to be a line of jumbled, messed up characters. But this isn't just some random letters and numbers. This is hexadecimal code. Upon decoding it, we get, "You're not supposed to be here." After this, the recording ends and we see the tab stop responding, and so does the video. This next important video, named Doubt, we see ToasterNinja alone, looking to be stressed out of his mind, as I would too. He says a few things about how he messed up, yet he doesn't want Ningrao to be dragged into this. He worries that if he leaves, Ningrao will be affected majorly by this. He is okay with receiving the punishment as long as Ningrao doesn't get anything. He doesn't deserve this. After saying all this, we hear this rhythmic tapping sound, which sounds like footsteps. ToasterNinja says that it's here again, and he's going to leave, which he does. Then, after he leaves, we see the angel statue moving, or that's what it looks to be. It says to us two encrypted messages. The first one being, "He won't be so lucky next time," and the second one be saying, "I will get him." At the end of the video, it says, "I will get him" multiple times if the recording's contrast increases, and then the video ends. In this next video, named First Trumpet, it begins with ToasterNinja and Ningrao playing Survive the Disasters, from what I know. Don't get on me for getting names wrong. Anyways, they play together for a while until we find out that Ningrao has not been playing that as of recent due to family issues. Shortly after finding this out, Ningrao has to go off again due to family issues. Once he leaves, ToasterNinja goes to play Sword Fight on the Heights to find out the game has no players on. He tries to leave and join a new server, yet no matter how many times he spams the leave button, it doesn't work. Not even Alt plus F4 works. After realizing this, he decides to just play. He heads over and grabs the Wind Force, walks over for a good few minutes, and goes to try to get the Illumina, which, when he gets really close to the sword, the game cuts to black for a few seconds and then comes back with the game being extremely high contrast, with a timer at the left corner where the chat is. Once he moves away from a pillar, we get to see that Grazing Eyes is back in the lobby again, this time with a different font from regular Roblox font, proving that this isn't just the game alone. ToasterNinja runs around in a panic, tries to leave the game repeatedly to no avail. He keeps trying to hide or run away for those 10 seconds on the timer until when the timer stops, the contrast intensifies and the screen cuts to black, only for it to be cut back to normal because ToasterNinja's friend, Reddish Robot, who we find out the real name is Michael, joins the game. After they find each other, ToasterNinja tells Reddish everything what happened, and we find out this has been happening for a week from this video. They play for a while once they're done talking, and when Reddish has to go for another one of his college classes, he tells ToasterNinja to get well soon, like he's mentally ill. Then ToasterNinja finds out he can leave the game again, and so he does. One side note of this video, however, the name First Trumpet has an association with the Book of Revelation, which is when 7 trumpets are sounded. The first trumpet brought devastating judgment to the earth, making hail, fire, and blood destroy 1/3 of the earth's trees and green grass. I'm not sure if this has any real associations, but that could be a valid association to make. At this point, this is the last important video. This next important video, named 08-16-2010, Ningrau recorded a video alone, the recording name being an encrypted message which translates to My Gift. The recording starts with Ningrau returning to the temple from video 2. He explored the temple for a bit, but there are some noticeable differences. One of them being that the halo statues from the Happy Home Place are lined up outside of the temple, and that inside the temple, the angel statue is gone and 2 of the 6 monoliths are destroyed, representing what Ningrau and ToasterNinja destroyed earlier in the series. Ningrau thinks to himself about the possibility for a while, before trying to leave and tell ToasterNinja about the whole situation, but he can't leave. Similarly to what happened with to ToasterNinja. Before you can ask why he can't leave, Grazing Eye's name appears in the leaderboard for a split second before the recording glitches and cuts out. But for a slight frame during the glitches, we get a hidden encrypted message which says, 1 left to go, making it sound like something happened to Ningrau. After this, it shows the ending about how ToasterNinja doesn't know if this is true or not, and he hopes this is a sick joke. But we aren't done with this part just yet. In the description lies yet another encrypted message saying, "You're next, John." And with this, it marks the end of the canon entries. Yet, we aren't completely finished yet. There's one more video, but it only exists to introduce a new character in the story, named Sect Mario. This is not meant to be canon, as stated in the description. It's a skit to a viral audio. Other than that, the only other thing worth knowing is that the time span of 1 minute, there's a strange structural part outside the window, yet I see no importance of it. Before we finish up here for today, there's some community posts I want to go over. At the time of making this script, there are 4 community posts. The first one holds 2 encrypted messages that, when decrypted, we get the word, the first one being, it remembers the names you threw at it, and the second one being, it remembers what you did. The second one holds an encrypted pastebin link, yet when decrypted and searched, it says it isn't available, meaning it's either decrypted/encrypted incorrectly, or it was removed before I could view it. The third one holds a message from supposedly ToasterNinja saying, "You could have been killed, right?" Suggesting that ToasterNinja heard about what happened to Ningrau in the final video and is in denial. The fourth one looks to be a wall with windows, with most of them being red, but the last 2 still being lit. With the second closest one having Reddish's hat, and the closest one having ToasterNinja's hat, suggesting that there's a possibility of Reddish being taken next, leaving ToasterNinja alone for the final one. One last thing, no ARG analysis is good without potential theory. One possible interpretation is that the monoliths aren't the source of the corruption, they're restraints. Every time a monolith appears, the game becomes more unstable, but when one is destroyed, things don't get better, they get worse. The lack disappears, yes, but the world itself starts to break. Games become inescapable. Environments overwrite each other, and the angel statue becomes more active. If this theory holds, then destroying monoliths wasn't progress, it was removing whatever was keeping the entity contained. As a whole, this ARG isn't just about jump scares or shock value. It's about escalation. It starts with exploration, curiosity, and jokes between friends, and slowly, through monoliths, corrupted worlds, and a figure that watches but rarely acts, it turns into something oppressive. The angel statue never needed to chase anyone. It didn't need to speak often. It just needed to wait and let ToasterNinja make the wrong choice first. The recurring ideas are clear. Punishment, observation, and consequence. Every time a monolith is destroyed, the world becomes less stable. Every time the truth is hitting, things get worse. And by the end, we're left with a story that feels unfinished, and not only because it is incomplete, but also because it's exactly how it's meant to feel. This isn't a story about solving a mystery, it's a story about what happens when you interfere with something you don't understand. These videos represent everything we know so far. No conclusion has been uploaded, no resolution confirmed. Whether the story is paused, still unfolding, or waiting to be continued is unclear. And with that, marks the end of this long-ass video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Oh, and also, for this post-recording, it's like 1 AM, almost 2 AM for me. I've spent the entire day editing this. I missed out on some details. So first off, there is Roblox accounts for these people, for each character, well, most of the characters. Yeah, I don't know if it associates with the lore in any way. Second off, the banner above the channel, it also has some kind of associations with lore, as you can tell, with the high contrast styles, and the angels and all that shit. Anyways, I am so tired, leave me alone, I'm going to sleep, bye.